Garage Game Guy, thanks Martin. Wish you would demonstrate with free assets, as most of us indie devs prefer to do so rather than paid ones. Yeah, for sure. I think this was adding email. Uh, yeah, I agree. I think it's easier. Obviously, it's not easier, but of course we always want to keep costs down. Unfortunately, for native content, native function calls, say like on iOS, calling like an email pop up or like a notification pop up, a native pop up. We've used the Prime 31 plugins so far just because it's saved a huge amount of time and because all of the plugins are compatible together, and because I don't code in Objective C. I have gone into Objective C before, but that really took a lot of time. So what I would recommend definitely is I think go to the Unity forums, because a lot of people talk about a lot of different subjects on those forums. They will talk about like how to show email, how to show a native pop-up, probably on Android and on iOS together. So I think I don't know how to do that myself, but definitely check out the forums. I think you'll get some really good advice there and some really good tips on how to show native, how to do native function calls. But thank you for the comment. And Garage Game Guy, like if you're doing games, please tell me, please drop a comment or a video, and it'll be awesome to see. So. Oh, the Gangnam Style. Yeah, I thought people like Gangnam Style only to laugh at it. Apparently, people do love it for real. Yeah, I was so surprised about this Gangnam Style Massacre going to position 3 in the US App Store, which is the biggest app store. Probably, like I said, I put some comment on how much it might be making right now, how much revenue it might be making through ads. But it was. It really makes you think about the business model side of things, because we've never had a game go up to that position or even sort of close to that position. And who knows what's happening with this developer? Maybe there is some kind of company behind them who is buying the user acquisition campaign, and they're getting the downloads, but they've changed the name to just a individual, so that if the account does get banned or if the game does get pulled down, it's not going to affect their main account. So maybe that's just a total guess, but by the quality of the game, it is kind of light and small, and it is clearly a very independent developer who's done this. But hats off to them, they've done really well in reaching that far. But it kind of ties into what the experiment I was mentioning before to you guys. I said I'm trying something a bit of a secret right now because I've not done a video about it. I want to test it first to see what the results are. But it kind of ties into this because I was a little bit inspired about seeing this, and I guess I gave myself a little bit more inspiration by doing the video. But thank you for the comment, the Onicraft. Cool to meet you. I hope you give some more comments and I can give you some more replies. Great Trick W. I made a quick comment, laugh out loud. No, serious, really good tutorials make me happy. And you make me happy as well with your comments. And you make me happy with your smiley face here, so thank you for that. Keep them coming, and I will keep the tutorials coming for sure. I play too. Thanks. You're welcome. Anytime. Hopefully do more, and they'll keep coming. Thank you for the comment. I play too. Just sending you a message about my new channel, Zombie Geezer. Oh, to everybody? Okay. Thank you, Zombie Geezer. I'll check it out. Mr. Gesmus. So this was on our Haze app integration. Oh, I only did this a few days ago. So, hey man, nice videos. I think you should do a tutorial how to make a game from idea on App Store. I know many people would search for it, so I think many will be a help to you, and you will get lots of views. Keep up the good work, Mr. Gesmus. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the message, and thanks. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. I'm always thinking about how to do this. I'm thinking one about the time and when I can do it, and the second thing is actually how to do it. I want to do a full video tutorial series, sort of broken up into modules, showing how to actually get from scratch, from absolute scratch, all the way up to publishing a game. Excuse me. Publishing a game on the iOS iPhone App Store and the Android App Store. So that would be, you have a Mac, you download Unity, you install the Xcode SDK, you download the Android SDKs into Unity, you then you can then tell Unity where the SDK is located. all of these things, the scripting, the artwork, the sounds, everything from scratch. And I would probably do that with a very basic game, say like Blade Star X. That would be that would probably be the simplest one because it wouldn't focus on a big game because we're trying to keep things very simple. But it would be the full process all the way through. So I'm trying to think about how to do that because I'd probably need to get a new Mac. Because the problem is I couldn't show you from scratch right now because my Unity is already set up with Android and Xcode like on the Mac that I'm using right now. So if anybody wants to donate a free Mac, I'll be happily take it and then make tutorials. So, but yeah, definitely. I think that will be coming sometime, Mr. Gesmus. Hopefully, if the channel grows, if the channel gets big, and we start to get a lot of views, then it would warrant, you know, to do a lot more in-depth videos that are, let's say, that are more useful to starting developers. But cool. So anyway, thank you. You know, cool to meet you, man. Hopefully we can chat more. Godmill. So these tutorials are fantastic. Thank you so much for making them. I have very little programming experience, and it has finally given me the confidence to actually make a game rather than just wishing I could make one. Dude, thank you so much, really. And you know, like I see, it's making me smile right now when I see these comments. That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. You know, inspiring people is a whole part of the channel and what I wanted to achieve with making how to make mobile games. And I think it is a big step. You know, being a game developer and programmer. I remember when I was about maybe 12 or 13 years old, I got a programming book on developing C in 24 hours, and it wasn't a game book. But I looked at some Hello World programming stuff, and it just it sent my head a bit crazy. Years later, like say maybe 4 years ago, I was looking at Unreal and trying to figure out how to do a Pong game in Unreal. But I couldn't find a good tutorial for it. I couldn't find a way to do a very simple game in Unreal. It always seemed like to be the big FPS games and how to build a first-person shooter or some third-person shooter. I just wanted to figure out how to do a game from scratch. And so I think finding good tutorials is pretty hard, especially for a beginner, because now at, say, an intermediate level, we can dip into tutorials fairly easily because it all makes a lot of sense now. But in the beginning, the first step is the hardest step in any endeavor. I think it's the hardest thing, is just that first step. I remember maybe I started learning Unity in, what are we now, 2012, 11, was it 2010? 2010, August or September is when I started to look at Unity, and I was very fortunate that I found some good tutorials through the Unity forums that really did explain things very well, very, very carefully. And I think finding the tutorials that do the full process from start to finish with only a very small game are the best ones, because then you get to learn the basic mechanics, the basic concepts, sorry, of coding, and actually not just the coding but the actual development, installing the engine and deploying it to an Android device or deploying it to your web browser. So you know, I'm glad you got inspired with that, and I know the first step is the hardest one, and I'm glad you've got going. If you do make something, Godmill, please let us know, even if it's just screenshots on YouTube. You know, post a comment to one of the videos, and I'm sure like a bunch of people will be happy to see that. So cool.